Good morning. King Charles is pure evil. Him and his British government need truly to be stopped. What the British government and the British monarchy led by King Charles III is doing to Zimbabwe is a travesty. We know now that Idi Mnangagwa is a stooge of the British with one intention, one purpose that they gave him: to destroy the life or the lifeblood of the Zimbabwean economy, to destroy human dignity of black people. You see, Britain has been at it always punishing black people. Because Joshua Nkomo was in Ndebele and the Ndebele uprising was what the British feared in the 1980s. They let their then stooge, Robert Mugabe, kill, massacre thousands of my people, people from my tribe. And I was born during that time. I was lucky to survive the British wrath on black Ndebeles because I was conceived during the time of the Kukura wound. When Robert Mugabe rebelled, in fact, not Robert Mugabe, when the war veterans rebelled and no longer wanted to live under dire economic conditions and demanded their land back, Robert Mugabe's hand was forced to allow them not to steal farms, but to get back the land that rightfully belongs to them. And the British retaliated by another further punitive measures in the form of sanctions that destroyed the economy of Zimbabwe. Those sanctions were actually targeted on the population of Zimbabwe because ever since those sanctions, the population of Zimbabwe has suffered. Not anyone in ZANU-PF leadership has gone home, has gone to sleep hungry because of sanctions. But millions upon millions of Zimbabweans have lost their human dignity, we have lost a generation because of those sanctions that the British has imposed on the general population of Zimbabwe. The evil and greed of King Charles III and the British Empire and the British government knows no boundaries. Now they are explicitly showing the Zimbabweans the middle finger by allowing their stooge only to make good with passports and nothing else. It's like Idi Mnangagwa is instructed, do not build roads, do not build hospitals, let these fools suffer. If you think I'm lying, let us remove Idi Mnangagwa and put me in power, and let's see if the roads are not going to be built. Listen very carefully, King Charles. When I become president of Zimbabwe, you will not order me around. I will destroy all the evil altars and agendas that we have had against my people. Let someone relay this message to King Charles III ASAP. For the Lord has anointed me to set his people free from poverty and from your web of lies. Yes, it is a web of lies, my people. You people are not told the truth because of this political propagandist. You'll be told lies. I will tell you who your enemy is, O Zimbabweans. It is King Charles III and the British monarch. Everything is just smokes and mirrors. Songezo chavango, triple C, oh, Zeg, this and that. Next week is another story. All smoke and mirrors, so that you will be keeping on suffering perpetually. Yet, at the root cause of it all, it is the British Empire, aided by the British Parliament and the British Foreign Office and the British intelligence, that has got a stronghold over Zimbabwe. And the people of the Lord must arise, shine, for this is the time where we will have to chase the British out of our country for good. We are not going to run a new government with British input anymore. We need a fresh liberation. That which happened on 18 April 1980 was not a liberation. It was a compromise to have a black face that still serves British interests. And I will tell you what the British interests are, is to keep the economy in the hands of white people and to keep the economy away from the hands of black people as far as possible, and to have this master slavery kind of a relationship. Right now, Zimbabweans are so happy to get a passport and go to the UK. They are so happy to get permit in the UK and be slaves to the British masters. Listen here, Zimbabweans. The British do not have diamonds. They don't have gold. They don't have lithium. They don't have all the wealth that we have. The reason why they're destroying our country through Mnangagwa is so that you'll be despondent and you cry to them. You are crying foul that ZANU-PF is destroying you, and you think that you're going to go to the British and complain and hoping that the British are going to help you against ZANU-PF. You are wrong. I told you, all smokes and mirrors. ZANU-PF is a creation of the British. Even from the rigging itself of 1980, it was the British that rigged the elections on behalf of Robert Mugabe. Robert Mugabe did not know anything about rigging. It was British who teach them that. All of the ZANU-PF staying in power, it is the British allowing them to do so and aiding them. No, now, therefore, freedom of Zimbabweans is getting this basic right, the right to development. Britain, King Charles, and the British government, I need to report this to all the people of the world, and especially to the superpower in Washington, to understand that British Empire has denied Zimbabweans the right to development. If Washington truly is the global superpower that loves human rights and fights for human rights and vouch for human rights, if you are a Washington politician and you are a human rights human rights campaigner, you need to understand that the buck does not stop in Harare on Idi Mnangagwa. It goes all the way to Buckingham Palace. If we are going to sanction Idi Mnangagwa for violating human rights, good, I applaud that, but do not stop there. Sanction King Charles III for human rights violations in Zimbabwe, because the British Empire has been at it since time immemorial. They've never given us space to breathe. We cannot breathe. We cannot breathe. We cannot breathe. Let the whole world send sanctions to King Charles III and give this video to him. I'm not afraid of King Charles. I'm a king on my own right. Holy is Jehovah. King Charles, my name is Ngobani Zoto. I'm coming to claim back my country, and there's nothing that you and your evil British machinery is going to do about it. King Charles, you are no longer the global superpower the United States is. So stop acting like you are a superpower. You are not. You are just a decaying economy that is going down. There's nothing that we are fearing from you. China is much bigger than Britain. The Washington is much bigger than Britain, and your economy is going down, saying you're going to lose that throne that you have. You're going to lose it as well. Holy is God. Don't tell me what to do. I am king in my nation, and I will lead my people whichever way I want to lead my people. And you're not going to tell me. I don't want your input. All I need you is to take a stooge from Harare, or we will take care of that business for you. And Zimbabwe will divorce from British entities or British affiliations. For clearly, the British people have demonstrated to us year after year that we are nothing to them except to be slaves. And they are hoping that because uh, the British have got strong relationships with Washington, then the United States is going to go in line with anything that Britain wants the United States to do. You are wrong, Britain. The United States is not as rogue as you are. Now, I will take my country and focus on Washington and seek Washington leadership and guidance on how to get out of the poverty of the jail that Britain has put us in. And I am reporting Britain as a country, and King Charles in particular as the king of the British monarch. I am reporting him to the organizations, to the United Nations, and to the international community. And I put this across to you, United Nations and international community, and ask you this question. Is it right that King Charles III, as highly decorated as he is with the whole British Empire, close allies of the United States, the defender of justice, the United States, the true leader of the whole world, is it right when the United States saw it fit to put sanctions on Zimbabwe because of uh, violation of human rights? Is it not right that the international community must go a step further and ask the question, who is keeping Idi Mnangagwa in power and whose interests is he serving? It is King Charles III and the British monarch. Therefore, the United Nations and the United States must impose sanction on King Charles III because of human rights violations in Zimbabwe by first of all putting a stooge, his T-boy, Idi Mnangagwa, whom one of these days you will find gone, and none of you should ask us, how did he go? For I've already told you, holy is God.